this is the ignition coil. I would highly advise that if you do this job, go ahead and change these out if you can. That way you know that you don't have to worry about these going out. I, on the other hand, don't have enough money for that crap right now, so I'm just changing out just the spark plugs. That is it. That is all I'm changing out. But as a preventative maintenance, I would say go ahead and change them out if you can. If you can afford it. Change this ignition coil there, there, and there, because it is a pain in the rear end to get back here. And who wants to do this job twice? I don't want to, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this vehicle. If I'm going to keep it, or if I'm going to trade it in. I'll probably end up trading it in and getting something else. But, I don't know. We'll see. So, this screw, this is a 10mm. Once again, they're all 10mm. So, I'm just going to go ahead and undo all these screws right quick. And I'm going to keep them in order. Not to, but I like to. So, we'll go now. Alright, is that? And then you can just pull these straight up and straight out. So that's that. So if you can replace these, because you can replace this whole entire attachment, I would, like I said. But it's all up to y'all. I just can't afford it right now, so I'm not going to. And I'll show you what the hole looks like on the other side. Not on this side. It's kind of a pain. I like where I have you guys at, so I'm just gonna leave y'all right there. It's a pain moving y'all back and forth. No offense. Love y'all guys and all, but shish. It is a pain in the butt working on a car using a camera. And in the description, I'll tell y'all all the tools I use on and the parts and whatnot. I'm getting this out of here. And there's that spark plug. There's a spark plug right there. This vehicle has 116,000 miles, so these should have been changed out 100,000 miles ago. Or actually 16,000 miles ago. They should have been changed out. But that is what this spark plug looked like in this particular vehicle. So let me go get the new one. Give me a sec. So what I'm doing right now is making sure that this is the right dang spark plug for this vehicle. In the past, I've dealt with other vehicles and used other spark plugs that were not recommended, and I've had to do the job again. So I am not doing this job again unless one of those go out while I still own this vehicle. But there they are. That's the new one. These are the NGKIR fine wire spark plugs. You do not have to gap these. They are already gapped. Reason why you don't want to gap these is they got a fine tip, and you don't want to damage that tip whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and put the good one in there as soon as I find my tool. Alright, there we go. Will eventually get tight. Eventually. Sometime today. Maybe. God, this can go on forever. Good grief. There we go. Alright. Alright. There we go. Sweet. So, now, oh shit, They move, y'all. Put this right back in there. There it goes. And we're going to take this one down. Next one, we're going to pull this one straight up and set it aside. All sorts of dirt around here. Highly advised, if you have a air compressor, hit the engine with the air compressor with some compressed air. And, get all that gunk off the engine so you don't risk anything falling inside of the engine. Alright, next one. Just cool one back here. Just cool. Alright, there's that one. Oh, there we go. Nope. Alright. This one back in. Alright. Last one. This one here. There it is. This aside right there, and let's get the last one out of here. So if I had to give you any suggestions, I'd say do the back ones first and leave the front ones for last. There it is. All right, here we go. So, in case you got to deal with this problem where my actual socket gets stuck on the dang spark plug, after you tighten it, switch your ratchet to loosen it, kind of jiggle it back and forth and lifting at the same time, but in a slow motion. It's weird. You're lifting slowly, but you're jiggling like hell, and that'll get that out of there. And these are, in case you do have to change out the ignition coils, these are Denso ignition coils. So, in case anyone's got to change out the coils on 2014 Kia Cadenza, they are Denso. D-E-N-S-O. Welcome back. Had to break out my Note 8 because my Note 3 died. So, we're going to use this phone instead to put everything back together. And it's all the reverse of what I just did earlier. Still got to do these front 3 spark plugs there, there, in there. So we'll go ahead and swap those out too in a bit. So now it's just putting everything back together. So for starters, remember those bolts that go across there? We're gonna go ahead and put those back in first. That's the big one. That's all of these. So it's that one, this one, this one, and that one. And why that's there. Now, if y'all remember this, this big boat goes in the back, so we're gonna go ahead and put that in there as well. Because I hate to bolt this thing all the way down, and then it doesn't line up properly, and I'm having to undo the bolts again just to get this back one back here. Alright, now we're gonna put this bracket back. So that's gonna go there. These wires, make sure all our wires are in the right spot. I'm gonna plug this wire back in. Number one thing you want to make sure you do on this car is plug everything back in. Good grief. If you do not, there will be trouble. And we don't want any trouble. Let's check this. Welcome back. So now I'm just putting all the bolts back on this thing. That's done. Now it's time to put all the connectors back. Yeah. That connector, that connector, that connector. You guys get the gist of it. And sorry about the lawnmower. Alright, so all these wires are back on and in place. I want to say I'm done with this side. Let's go on the driver's side. Alright, so I'll push that back on. Got some needle nose pliers. That right back on there. It's like this. There we go. That's back on there now. That's plugged in. This one gonna go all the way back over here, like so. Make sure we put these back in place. This one, this one went here. This one went straight down. There's that. Alright, this line is taken care of. That's plugged back in, that's plugged in. Actually, I never unplugged that. Alright, what else are we missing? The vacuum lines. These are actually coolant lines for the fly-by-wire throttle body. We're going to put those back on too. So I'm going to start with this one. There's that. That one went. This one still has coolant. That one went. Get my needle nose pliers. There's not enough in there. I'm gonna go with the pliers. Alright, that's back on there. There's another one underneath here. We gotta push back up. That's back on. That's good. We're gonna plug in our fly-by-wire. That's plugged back on. This is for the air assembly, so I just want to make sure it's kind of off and away from everything. We got to get these vacuum lines plugged back in to place. We'll start with this back one. I really don't know if y'all guys can see any of this stuff. I do apologize if you can't. Alright, that's back on. Alright, and I got you all in position. Get the next vacuum line on here, just this one. Alright, there's that. Can't forget this one back here that comes off the brake vacuum. That's on there. Alright, let me get my clamps back together. Alright, there's that. Looks like all we need now is the air filter. Alright, so now we're going to put the air assembly back on, because I want to say I'm done plugging in stuff. Alright, that's on. That line's plugged back in. Clamps put back on. Screwdriver. That is on. Now we're going to tighten up the screw. And the other half of the air assembly goes right back into place. Alright, put these screws in and make sure everything was all lined up properly. There we go. Nice and tight. Now, we gotta put the other screws down below. I'm gonna use my magnetic tool. Sweet. Get that screw to stay in. So I'm applying pressure to really push the air filter on there. Well, not the air filter, but the air assembly together to make them back up again. That's why I have my hand underneath there. Oh, this screw's tricky. All right, that's nice and tight. That's nice and tight. We gotta get that back on. Trusty pliers. Oh shit. Got my wire. I go around this way. Plug this back in here. There we go. Push that back into there. I believe, my friends, we have got that back together. And you just saved yourself a ton of moolah by doing it yourself. Alright. Told you I was going to save the easy ones. And now, the easy ones. So I said do these last because they're so simple to get to. Do all that hard part first, then do these last. So we're going to start off with this one. This one. And the last one. Okay. Got my plugs. Start off with this one. Just move that right there like so. And see, look here. See, it's nice and shiny in there. It's like a little bit of dirt, but I don't know. Anywho, so I'm gonna need an extension. So you're gonna need double extension on this one. I attempted to do this job once before, but that back part was a pain in the rear to take apart. Or at the time it looked like it was going to be a pain in the rear to take apart, so I left it. And I didn't do it until today. So the only thing I changed out were these 3 or 4 spark plugs up here in the front. So I had to go back, rebuy brand new spark plugs, 3 of them at least. And I knew once I changed the back ones, just rechange these front ones. That way I know they're all on the same page and they can all wear down together evenly. Not have new ones in the front, old ones in the back. Or vice versa, new ones in the back, old ones in the front. So now they're all brand new. So I don't expect them to look all that bad. There we go. push opposite of the release button. Got it. Learned something new today. Last one. The trick to getting this off of there, if yours gets stuck, you see that ball, so make sure the ball is away from you. And what you want to do is apply pressure against the ball and then pull up. That is how you change out the spark plugs on a 2014 Kia Cadenza. Almost forgot. Remember these two little nuts? Yeah, we gotta put those back. I'll show you where that's at. We got one right where this wire sits. See that stud sticking up? So we're gonna put one there. And you got another one on the other side. Alright, so that's done. That one goes right here. So, that's where that one goes. Alright guys, congratulations. We just put this thing all back together. So now, we need to start it up. Before we put the GDI cover on there, we have to start it up and make sure there are no leaks or we don't hear any vacuum lines that we forgot to plug back in. Alright, so let's go do that. But I don't see any coolant dripping. Remember, those coolant lines are underneath here. As far as I can tell, everything's copacetic and good to go. Alright viewers, I hope y'all enjoyed this on how to change the spark plugs on the 2014 Kia Cadenza. If y'all got any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I'm gonna go take this thing on a test drive, see how it drives, and stay tuned for more automotive videos from me coming soon. Alright, till next time guys, peace!